My friend, we are going to be talking about major versus minor, the modus or the function of a scale that is changed to represent a minor scale using the same 7 notes but in a different fashion, and then talk about how to manipulate that 7-note system to give us something called harmonic minor. Now, with harmonic minor, we can also move the positions where those notes lie, form patterns, and that gives us our modus of today, which is going to be called Dorian sharp 11, sharp 4, or it's called the Romanian minor. The reason being is this. When we play a C major, we have 7 notes: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. This correlates with a C major or an A minor, as those 2 chords share the key signature, which has no sharps and no flats. When we're playing C minor, it correlates to the E flat, because E flat major has 3 flats. It has 3 flats, the E flat, the B flat, and the A flat, not in that order, which are the other notes that aren't in E major. As all music is viewed through the eyes of the major, we would basically say E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, B. All the notes in that key that had 4 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp, are now natural in the key of E flat. E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. Having said that, when we want to change our major into a minor, we flatten the 3, we flatten the 6, and we flatten the 7th. Say it with me. When making any major a minor, you flatten the 3rd scale degree, you flatten the 6th scale degree, you flatten the 7th, and then a resolution becomes a whole step between. The beautiful part about making C major into a C minor, natural minor can be changed into harmonic minor by altering that 7th scale degree and making it a natural. So if we played 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, natural 7, 1, we achieve something called C harmonic minor. If you're with me thus far, the whole reason to learn this in patterns it builds melody. And that's essentially what all music is. It's melody, cadences, form. When we put these things together with notation and rest, we achieve patterns. Well, hear how that one note changed the feeling and expression by changing where the tension lies? The whole point of today's mode goes through the process of saying, well, if we can play this natural minor and we can change it to have a harmonic minor, then the 2nd note, D, if we drop the C and then add a D up top, we get D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B natural, C, and D. That gives us a mode. That mode, when we move it around, allows us to explore those half steps, building tension in between the 1 and the dominant. So, the tonic and the dominant. So, after going through our modes, which go from the harmonic minor to Locrian natural 6, we'd have a 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, natural 6, flat 7, 1. Another gorgeous mode, natural 6 there, Locrian. And then our Ionian sharp 5 would feel like a major, but it has that kind of augmented or diminished feel because we're building tension with that sharp 5. So we would have like our C, D, E, F, G sharp, A, B flat, C. Hear how that's weird and fun? So check those out. And then today's mode, getting up to it, we're going to have Dorian sharp 4. It also essentially is a sharp 11 because the 4 is the 11 when you go past the octave. We would have our D, we would have our C, our D, our E flat, and then rather than having a F, we'd have an F sharp. Cool, huh? And then we'd have our 5, the G, and then rather than having a flat 6, we have our natural, because that is what the term Dorian means. Dorian means it's a natural minor, but then it's going to have a natural 6. Well, we're just adding the concept of putting that sharpened 4 or the sharpened 11. So it feels like, look at that right there. And because the B flat is part of that scale preference, That's our modus there. So we've got a 1, 2, flat 3, sharp 4, 5, natural 6, flat 7, 1. Now, how do you play these and how do you practice this? The way I teach is you kind of center around a tone. Most teachers teach in C because it makes sense, but you can alter it, like play like a C, maybe up to a C sharp minor by playing all those same 3 notes and then putting your finger on the G sharp, or just play the whole measure at the 4th fret. It'll feel almost the same. It feels like a major minor chord, but not a major minor, a minor 7 chord or a 6 chord, but it feels good. Hear how that has that natural tension to have that flat 2? Now, I would always suggest on flat 2, something like that, to do like frigid or low cream, but Dorian feels really good. Ooh, look at that. And then work on maybe 3-note patterns. Try all sorts of stuff, hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, bends, but now that you're more associated with what the notes are, what I would suggest is try to play them in practice with like a C minor, and then try 1 or 2 note variances for that melody. And see where it fits into your playing style. And then mix in notes that aren't in there to see what the half steps feel like by doing accidental notes or accent notes in between the notes of this mode. Anyway, if you have any questions, put it in the comment section. If you dig it, subscribe. If you really dig it, become a member and then pick my brain. Let me pick your brain and help you get where you're going. Otherwise, subscribe to B.